this story time, I'm going to be talking about the time that I was, I guess you could say, like, led on by a particular guy, and he led me on to get to my best friend. So let's get into it. So I was in university, and I had met this guy when probably, yeah, like my first year at university, and I actually like was moving the day I was like moving into the dorm. Yeah, like the day I was moving into the dorm, like my grandparents were helping me move in and everything, and I had seen him, and he was just like, oh, he was just like, hey, and I was like, hey, and he didn't really like talk or anything like that, but basically a few days within moving in, like we had like passed each other, like coming and going into the dorm and stuff like that. And so he was just like, hey, how's it going? We were talking and exchanged, like phone numbers. And I'm like, yeah, we both obviously live in this building and stuff like that. But he was like, we should hang out, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So we, started hanging out and, just chilling, listening to music and stuff like that. I think he like ended up bringing me to like the zoo and stuff like that. So like we were like hanging out and talking, and he was bringing me places and stuff like that. At that time, I had a best friend named Lola, and she went to the college, and so whenever me and her would like hang out after I met him, like at some point, I did introduce her to him, and I'm like, yeah, this is my bestie and stuff like that. And everything like that. So, it was like, oh, okay, cool. So, um, there was only like sometimes that like we would all like hang out, but telling her like I did, start liking him, and I told my friend Lola, I was like, yeah, I kind of like him and stuff like that, and I get the feeling or the sense or like he likes me because we're always hanging out, talking and stuff like that, and chilling and stuff, and he would like invite me to go like watch play soccer and stuff like that, and just little stuff like that. Um, so we were going to this particular time. We were going to an amusement park, and then like we were going, and then I told like my best friend, and she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna bring a friend of mine." So I was like, "Okay." So all four of us, met up and everything like that. Her friend was like super nice. He was a nice guy, and we all like had fun at the amusement park and stuff like that. Another friend that I had mentioned in another video, uh, Jake, like me and Jake actually were hanging out one evening, and we were hanging out in my dorm, and then it was an elevator downstairs, and I was like walking him out the building because he was like leaving, and so because we had hung out for like a few hours at this point. And so when we got off the elevator, we had Jake out the building and say, bye and stuff. And in walks like Lola and Andrew. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, because like I said, we had only all hung out like together and everything. So I was just like, okay, like, the fuck? Like, I was pissed because I'm just like, first of all, like, I told I had told Lola and Jake at this point like that I like this dude, and we have been hanging out and all that kind of stuff. So they already knew that. It's like, why are they hanging out though? Like, that's pretty fucking weird, you know. So then I'm just like pissed, and so I'm just like, hey, I just awkward like they say hey. I just wasn't gonna plan on saying anything, but they walk by, and I'm just they're like, hey, they look guilty as fuck. They look caught red-handed. It's just she has like some little bag. She has a bag to the Cheesecake Factory, so I'm like observing the situation, and I'm like, okay, obviously they went out to eat. They went somewhere like, okay, like they went on a date or something. Like, what? So I don't have anything to say. Like, I just look at my friend Jake, and I'm just like, wow. And he's just like, yeah. And he was just like, but our friend Jake likes Lola, so he was just kind of like more hurt about it in that way too. So, but he could definitely feel my pain, like, what the fuck is going on? So I was just like, I was like, okay. I was like, I'll see you later, Jake. I was like, I'm just gonna like go back up to my room or whatever. And he's like, all right. And he's like, I'll just talk to you later because he knew I was like pissed off. And so I just go up to my room and like before I try to like take the elevator, they're just like looking at me and stuff, and Lola and Andrew are trying to be like, oh, what are you guys doing? What are you up to? It's like, no, I don't want any of that small talk. And the elevator was taking too long, so I just took the fucking stairs and walked my ass up to my room. So, then I guess my friend Lola decides that she wants to bring her little ass to my room and to try to have a conversation, I guess. And so she comes to my room, and I'm just like, what the fuck do you want? Like, what do you want? And she's just like, hey, she's just like, I'm sorry, like, and she tried to act like she didn't know why I was mad. She's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. I'm just like, you know that I like this dude because I told you that I like this dude, and you're gonna go, well, like, what's going on? Like, you went to go out to eat or like what? And she's like, yeah, we went out to eat, and like, we're just cool. And she tried to play it off like we're just hanging out, like we're having fun, we like hang out with each other and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, but I told you that I liked him, and then this is what you're gonna go hang out with him. And she's like, yeah, we have each other's number and we've been like talking and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. I was like, well, there's nothing really to say at this point. Like, well, I'm gonna go hang out with him basically in his room now. I'm like, yeah, just throw salt in that wound, add insult to injury. Like, okay, I got you. And so after that, like, we we really didn't really talk as much. Like, I didn't like cut her off completely, but it's like I definitely like was like, okay, we're not gonna be like talking as much. And I think at some point I did have a conversation with Andrew, and he was just like, yeah, like I really like her, like I'm liking her and stuff like that. And so I had to like cuss him out and be like, you basically just, I feel like you used me. You used me, you led me on because or even if you didn't, like at first, like as soon as I introduced you to like Lola and brought her around, then you decided like, okay, I'm gonna go with her. And you should have just been honest. And so all of that. So after that, like I didn't really talk to that dude. Like I just ignored him. Unfortunately, at that time, like some of the people that I knew, or I guess some of the people I guess that I knew someone who knew him. So I felt and we went to the same university, so it's like I would still see him on occasion, and it's just kind of like I just ignored him. I didn't say anything. He tried to say like hi, and it's just like, nah, I don't have shit to say. And I just basically ignored him at that point and just never really said shit again. My friend Lola, like we hung out here and there and stuff like that, but it was a bit awkward after that because, like, I would hang out at her house. She would come to the dorm and hang out. Like, we would go places. We would go, to the club and stuff like that. So it's like like, good friends and hung out often and stuff like that. So I was just like, I just was just completely caught off guard by that whole situation. And, um, I guess the only good thing from that is like the friend that she had brought like to the amusement park, like he was like a really cool, sweet guy. So I ended up like still, you know, talking to him and being cool with him. And so at least, that was cool and everything like that. And then we ended up liking each other and everything like that. But besides that, yeah, I was just like, wow, this is like not cool. So I only talked to her like here and there and stuff after that. She ended up like giving me a pet snake. um, like I think that summer or something like that. But basically after that, like I didn't really talk to her again. I was just like, okay, like our friendship is done. So yeah, that was about it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.